Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money is a thought-provoking book that explores the complex relationship people have with money. The author emphasizes that personal finance isn't just about the numbers, the balance sheet, or the latest investment strategy. It's deeply rooted in the psychology of how we think about money, its role in our lives, and the decisions we make in relation to it. The book is structured into 20 short chapters, each examining different psychological factors that impact financial decisions. The key themes focus on risk, greed, fear, happiness, patience, and the importance of understanding the human element in finance. Chapter 1: No One's Crazy. Housel begins by noting that people's financial behaviors are often perceived as irrational, yet they are usually a result of their unique life experiences. He explains that while people may appear to make poor financial choices, their decisions are based on a set of experiences, beliefs, and biases that shape their view of money. What might seem like irrational behavior to one person could be a logical choice for someone else based on their circumstances. The core of this chapter is that financial decisions are subjective and highly personal. Just as different people react to risk in different ways, they also bring their own personal history and emotional responses to how they manage money. Understanding that others might make decisions that seem strange or illogical can help reduce judgment and promote empathy in personal finance discussions. Chapter 2: Luck and Risk. In this chapter, Housel delves into the role of luck and risk in financial outcomes. He points out that both luck and risk play critical roles in determining the success or failure of any investment or financial decision. For example, a person's success in a high-risk venture may largely be due to luck, while another person's failure in the same venture could be due to an unfortunate string of events. The author emphasizes that we often attribute success to skill and failure to personal shortcomings, but in reality, luck and risk are equally significant contributors. The lesson here is humility, understanding that while skill and preparation are important, luck and risk are unavoidable factors that are often beyond our control. Chapter 3: Never Enough. Housel talks about the pursuit of more money and the dangers of never feeling enough. People tend to think that if they had just a bit more money, they would be happy, but this is a false assumption. He argues that the desire for more wealth often leads to dissatisfaction, as there is always a higher threshold to reach. The core message is that financial happiness comes not from accumulating endless amounts of wealth but from realizing when you have enough. Defining what enough looks like and aligning your financial goals with that sense of sufficiency can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. The chapter also highlights the difference between being rich and being financially secure. Often, people focus on the former at the expense of the latter. Chapter 4: Confounding Compounding. Compounding is a simple yet powerful concept in finance, but one that is often misunderstood. Housel illustrates how small, consistent actions, over long periods, can lead to extraordinary results. He provides examples of how investors who leave their money in the market for decades can accumulate immense wealth, thanks to the compounding effect. This chapter emphasizes the importance of patience in financial planning and investing. The impact of compounding is most powerful when time is allowed to work in the investor's favor. However, people often underestimate the power of compounding or fail to give it enough time to produce results. The key takeaway here is that compounding works best when you start early and let your investments grow over time. Chapter 6: Tails, You Win. In this chapter, Housel discusses the importance of rare events, tail events, in shaping financial success. These events, whether positive or negative, are often responsible for the majority of the outcomes in any financial system. In investing, for instance, a few highly successful investments can make up for a large number of failures. Housel advises that to be successful in the long term, we must accept the inherent uncertainty of the financial world and learn to embrace risk. While rare events may seem unpredictable, they have an outsized impact on wealth accumulation. This chapter reinforces the importance of being prepared for the unexpected and being open to opportunities that may arise unexpectedly. Chapter 7: Freedom. Housel argues that true wealth is not about having as much money as possible, but about having the freedom to live life on your terms. Financial independence, the ability to make choices without being constrained by financial worries, is the real goal. Money, in this sense, becomes a tool to provide freedom, rather than an end in itself. The concept of freedom is presented as a critical factor in achieving happiness. When you are financially secure, you are less concerned with accumulating more wealth and can focus on other aspects of life that contribute to fulfillment, such as time, relationships, and personal growth. Money's role is to facilitate this freedom, not to define your identity. Chapter 8. Mun in the Car Paradox. Housel explains a paradox where people tend to buy expensive possessions, such as luxury cars, not because they want the item itself, but because they want to signal wealth and status to others. However, others are not paying attention to these possessions as much as the person might hope. In reality, people don't admire others for what they have, but for who they are and how they make them feel. The key message is that the pursuit of status through material possessions can be a futile exercise. Instead, people should focus on pursuing things that truly contribute to their happiness and well-being, rather than trying to impress others with things that offer only fleeting satisfaction. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. Housel explores the idea that true wealth is often hidden. Many people who appear wealthy are actually living paycheck to paycheck, spending more than they earn. In contrast, those who accumulate wealth are often quiet about their financial success, living below their means and investing wisely. This chapter challenges the traditional notion of wealth by highlighting that those who are truly wealthy often live modestly, avoid excessive consumption, and make long-term decisions to protect and grow their wealth. The message here is that wealth isn't always visible, and it's more important to focus on financial habits rather than outward appearances. Chapter 10. Save money. In this chapter, Housel emphasizes the importance of saving as the foundation of financial success. Saving money is the most reliable way to build wealth, as it allows individuals to weather financial storms, take advantage of investment opportunities, and avoid the stress of living paycheck to paycheck. The chapter highlights that saving money isn't about being frugal or depriving oneself, but about making intentional choices that prioritize long-term financial stability over short-term gratification. Saving is a consistent habit that compounds over time, contributing significantly to financial security. Chapter 11. Reasonable, rational. Housel explains that while rational financial decisions might make sense mathematically, they are not always practical or sustainable in real life. The key is to be reasonable, making decisions that are not only based on logic but also on emotional comfort and long-term satisfaction. The chapter argues that personal finance is not a one-size-fits-all approach and that it's essential to find a balance between rational decisions and personal values. People who make reasonable decisions are more likely to stick with their plans and stay disciplined, even if their choices are not the most mathematically efficient. Chapter 12. Surprise. The unexpected is a constant in the world of finance, and the key to surviving it is to be prepared. Housel discusses how people often overestimate their ability to predict the future and understate the likelihood of unexpected events. Investors and individuals should always be prepared for surprises, whether they come in the form of market crashes, personal setbacks, or changes in the economic environment. This chapter encourages readers to embrace uncertainty and stay flexible in their financial planning. A solid financial plan should account for the possibility of surprise and the need to adjust course when necessary. Chapter 13. Room for error. In this chapter, Housel discusses the importance of building a margin of safety into financial plans. He explains that life is uncertain and things rarely go according to plan. By leaving room for error, whether in investments, business ventures, or personal financial decisions, we can absorb the inevitable setbacks that will occur along the way. The takeaway is that financial success is not about always being right but about minimizing the consequences of being wrong. By taking a conservative approach and leaving room for error, we can ensure that our financial plans remain resilient even when things don't go as expected. Chapter 14. You'll change. Housel argues that our relationship with money evolves over time, and what works for us at one point in life may not be suitable at another stage. Financial goals, risk tolerance, and values change as we grow older, experience different life events, and reassess our priorities. The message is to be adaptable in your financial approach, understanding that your needs and goals will shift over time. Flexibility and self-awareness are key to making sound financial decisions throughout life. Chapter 15, Nothing's Free. The chapter explores the hidden costs of everything, particularly when it comes to financial decisions. Housel explains that nothing in life is truly free. There are always trade-offs, whether it's time, effort, or future opportunities. In the world of investing, for example, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Even the best investments come with risks and uncertainties. Understanding that everything has a cost is vital in making informed, balanced decisions. The chapter encourages readers to recognize the trade-offs involved in every financial decision and to be mindful of the long-term impact of those choices. Chapter 16, The Seduction of Pessimism. Housel discusses how pessimism tends to be more persuasive than optimism, especially when it comes to financial markets. The media often highlights negative events, leading people to focus on risks and dangers rather than opportunities and growth. While caution is necessary, Housel warns against being overly pessimistic, as it can prevent individuals from taking action and achieving financial success. This chapter encourages a more balanced view of the world, one that acknowledges risks while also recognizing the potential for growth and progress. By focusing too much on pessimism, people can miss opportunities for positive financial outcomes. Chapter 17, The Power of Wealth. In this chapter, Housel highlights how the accumulation of wealth allows individuals to control their time and make choices that align with their values. Wealth, in this sense, is a powerful tool for freedom and personal empowerment. Having money provides the ability to make decisions based on personal preferences rather than financial necessity. The message is that wealth is not about luxury or excess, but about enabling autonomy and living life on your terms. Chapter 18, Avoiding Envy. Envy can be a powerful force in financial decisions, often driving people to compete with others in unhealthy ways. Housel explains that comparing ourselves to others can lead to dissatisfaction, as we rarely have the full picture of their financial situation or their happiness. The key to overcoming envy is to focus on your own financial journey and avoid measuring success based on external comparisons. True contentment comes from understanding your own goals and values, rather than trying to keep up with others. Chapter 19, The Value of Time. Time is one of the most important, yet often overlooked, factors in financial success. Housel stresses that time is the most valuable asset we have, as it allows wealth to compound and opportunities to arise. The key to success in both investing and life is making the best use of time, whether by investing early, learning new skills, or nurturing relationships. The lesson here is that time is a non-renewable resource, and we must prioritize it in our financial and personal decisions. Chapter 20, A Rich Life. The final chapter explores the broader concept of what constitutes a rich life. It's not just about money, but about having a fulfilling life that aligns with personal values, goals, and relationships. Housel suggests that financial success should be viewed through the lens of personal happiness and well-being. Ultimately, the goal is to define what wealth means to you and to structure your financial decisions in a way that supports a richer, more meaningful life.